talk about the Premier League, the Bundesliga, the La Liga throughout today. It's happening throughout this weekend. Good morning, John. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nonso.
Well, good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the show.
Okay, good morning. Okay, let's start with the EPL. Before that, remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at both FM Sports. We are live. We are live now on YouTube at both FM Sports. When you go there, please drop your comments. I will be reading your comments live here in the studio. Okay, let's start with the EPL and today's fixtures. It's set, so we'll talk about some of the games and the biggest game of the weekend this week. It's Arsenal is going to be playing Chelsea. It's going to be a huge game for both teams to see whether both of them will be finishing top 4 this season or probably winning the league, because everybody is expecting Arsenal to be challenging for the league, but they have to be winning a game like Chelsea. But before then, let me give you the fixtures of this EPL, the Premier League fixtures for the weekend. On Saturday is Wolves versus Southampton, West Ham versus Everton, Brentford versus Bournemouth, Crystal Palace versus Fulham, Brighton versus Manchester City. Today again is Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Tomorrow is Manchester United versus Leicester City, Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle, Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle, then Tottenham Hotspur versus Ipswich Town. Then Chelsea will host Arsenal at the Stamford Bridge. Okay, let's start with today's fixtures. Few of them. Should we talk about even West Ham and Everton? West Ham is a small club. Let's talk about West Ham because of no. So let me pity him small.
Don't be because of none. So if you know you go see game where I go lose, you go say let's talk about West Ham. The one where I go win, where I know. Say it's a clear cut win for West Ham United. You say let's talk about it. You say let's not talk about it.
Okay, like
but the games you know I will lose. You want to talk about it against Everton? It's funny because I'm still looking at the side that is going to show up against Everton. Mohamed Kudus, what's it called? Suspension has been extended. He's given extra 2 games, so he's going to miss Tottenham Hotspur game, the next game, and a couple of games after that. So now he's out of the fray. Somerville has not started on the right foot at West Ham. The players that came in newly, Fulkrug is not back to full fitness. Gildo Rodriguez is not back to full fitness. Carlos Sola, I don't trust him. That's personal. The coach trusts him. That's why he brought him in. But me, I don't trust him to be Premier League material. Not even West Ham material. Premier League material, I don't trust him. Now, we go on to the list of players he brought in. Mas Kilman is doing a good job. He did a good job at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's doing a good job at West Ham United. But I believe I see a better potential defensive work. I see a better combination in defense with Mas Kilman and Mavropanos. And not Todibo. Man United wanted Todibo. He can go to Man United. Don't come and ruin his career. He shouldn't come to West Ham and ruin his career. I like the guy. But the way he's playing right now at West Ham, I don't think if he continues like this, he would excel to a bigger club.
Okay, John, what do you think about that game before we move on to the next game?
It's a game between 2 usual suspects, and right now, when 2 men are crying foul at the same time, you have to look at both of them that are crying foul and look at who is trying to deceive the other person right now. I think West Ham versus Everton, this should be a game that West Ham should be coming away with a win, because let's not mix words right here now. Everton are a free giver. They donate goals to clubs.
Same
they
as
donate
West Ham.
Points. They donate goals. So I think this is a game West Ham should be winning, because Lopetegui should be winning this match. But it's still going to be a mixed match on who is going to start for West Ham, who is going to play in the places they are going to play, and then how are they going to go about the game. Not having the right teammates playing the game is not an excuse for you to lose a match.
Okay, let's get your prediction for that game, because you can't dwell on West Ham.
We're not dwelling on West Ham.
Let's get your prediction for that game.
Well, since they are both struggling, they are both strugglers in the league now, let's just settle for a draw, man. Let's settle for a straight mate. Just share the point. Don't just put anybody into the heartache of shouting and jumping on the toe and end up losing the game. So let's just settle for a stalemate.
John?
A 1-1 draw.
West Ham narrow win.
West Ham narrow win. Oh, you are supporting also today. Okay, let's get predictions for other games before we move on today. I think the big games are happening with Brighton and Manchester City. That's 6:30 or 6:30. Then Liverpool and Aston Villa will be playing by 9 o'clock midnight, 9 o'clock p.m. So that's the big games that's happening today. But the 4 p.m. games, let's get your prediction for that before we move on to these big games. Okay, let's do Wolves versus Southampton. What's your prediction for that game?
I think that should be a game that Wolves should be winning. The question is which Wolves
When
is
you
going to
say
turn
okay,
up.
Wolves should be winning, I
Yeah,
thought you say
Wolves should
we.
be winning.
Okay,
Saturday just wake up. We wake up against Man City. Now won their next match. Come on, I think Wolverhampton Wanderers has not given me enough reason to be out of the bottom of table. They're not giving me enough reason.
They don't need to give you any reason. Look at Southampton's record away from home this Premier League,
It's
and
the
then
same
you
thing,
look at the performances
Like I
they've
said,
given.
after the performance against Man City, they came out to win their next match against Everton also. Now this game is they are going to work on it to get more points off other people that are struggling. This is if I can get Man City and play like this and get one goal and consider just one goal. I know I'm not on top form. And Russell went to Man City and considered just one goal and went against Everton and won. Then he believes in this game he could go against Wolverhampton Wanderers and win. It's just the performance. It's just see when I say if you get the performance against a big side, you build on it. And if you look at Southampton over the days, they've built on the performance they got against Man City, and they are firing on from there. Where would Wolverhampton Wanderers pick their performance? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Considering goals and not having the team gelled, I think the team has not really gelled together to play the Wolverhampton Wanderers way.
okay, let's see what happens in that game. That game is happening 4 p.m. today. Okay, let's move on to the prediction for the next game. Is Brentford versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth are half high flying. They won this season against Arsenal and they won the game against Manchester City. So
Champions League finals for them.
I think
Their season don't end.
we see no. Come on. I think they should be winning Brentford if they can win. If they can win
It's
against
another.
Arsenal.
I disagree.
Come on.
Oh. I disagree.
As in, I don't like when people talk hypothetical and you look at it, you see that this hypothetical is not hypothetical, as in it's off. You get, because this is a Brentford side that even Pep Guardiola said some things about. You get, and in the Bournemouth side, he didn't really sing praises like that. He just talked about it like, again, we lost, but we didn't have some players to. Guardiola made excuses in losing the game, but he was making excuses for Frank for losing the game. Now, he was telling you that Frank is a good coach. It's just the style he has. But he's telling you, oh, I lost to Bournemouth because of this and this and that and that. So he's telling you
As it
that
should be.
Bournemouth won that game because of some certain reasons. They won against Arsenal because of those certain reasons as well. Defensive errors and perhaps injuries in defense.
Missing key players in the side.
So I'm just saying, against this side, it's going to be a tough one. Brentford are always going to show up, fight for their position back. They've been in that top 10 conversation for the past 3 years. They want to continue that top 10 conversation, not even in the bottom half of the table, 16th, 15th. They don't want to put themselves in that conversation of we might be fighting relegation. They want to be in the top half of the table where they say, okay, we are finishing 10th, we are finishing 9th. Even if we're not going to Europe, we're finishing 10th or 9th. And they will continue with this game. Beating Bournemouth will just be one of those games.
Okay, let's move. Your prediction for that game?
Brentford win.
Brentford to win.
Brentford
Is okay. Let's move on to Crystal Palace and Fulham. Both teams are no. I think Fulham are actually doing better in the Premier League this season. But
Sure.
Crystal Palace are trying to find their feet. They are moving up. You know, if you look at what they played last season, at the end of last season, they started picking up from the one Manchester United 4-0. They were winning games. Suddenly this season, I think because they sold some key players, they are not actually firing well this season. But if you look at that game against Fulham, what are we expecting? Let's get your prediction for that game.
It's a tough one for me to call because I just look at Crystal Palace sometimes and I ask myself, like, is this Crystal Palace the team that we saw flying high in the Premier League last season?
The only high you saw them fly was
this,
beat Man United 4-0.
or is this another team, or is this just Palace and not Crystal? This is Rubber Palace. So I really don't know, because it would have been more terrible for them to have sold McGahey, and they would be worse off than they are where they are in the league right now. But coming up against Fulham, this is a game I'm going to back Fulham to go to Palace Stadium and get a win, because they've been consistent. If you look at their run of
Did you see the way they
games,
played their last game?
they've been consistent. Yes.
Did you see the way? I'm not talking about Fulham. I'm talking about Crystal Palace. Did you see the way they played their last game? You saw how they fought till they get to that point.
Fulham have been consistent.
Fulham has
and
been consistent.
They have the right tools in the shed to get the job
And
done.
it's difficult for you to replace players who just left, because we know they didn't really get players in to replace Olise. But they've always find it difficult scoring goals. But if you look at their last game, look at how they've played, the performance they put up to get the 1 point they did. I think it was a 2-2 draw. If you look at the way they played to get that result, and it was against Wolverhampton Wanderers, you should tell that if they play against any other team, they will get the goals.
Okay, let's
Now,
get
the
your
problem is
prediction for that
defending
game.
those goals.
What do you think will happen that game? Who wins?
Fulham wins.
For me, I'm seeing a draw again.
a draw. Okay, let's go back to the big games for today. That's where I'm trying to dive into. Is Brighton versus Manchester City. These are the two good teams. Now, I don't know what is happening to Manchester City, but they are losing ground, they are losing power, they are not scoring a whole lot of goals. I don't know why. But Kevin De Bruyne is fully fit now. So let's see the connection between Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland, if he's going to pick up. I don't really bother about City because City normally around this November, December, early December, they used to drop points. That's probably when they used to drop points. And if you look at Pep, he's not really worried about it. But once it comes to January, they pick up form and start winning games. But going away to Brighton is not a small thing for them. So they need to be 100% for Man City to be winning that game.
Yeah, they need to be 100%. And yes, it's good to have KDB back, but you have to remember that the Swiss Army knife is not yet back too. You still have Rodri that is not yet available, and there's also the absence of a backup to Erling Haaland. And City. I think Guardiola needs to look at that squad and come January add another striker into the side. But the way they are now, the way they position, the way they are lined up, I think that we can go to Brighton Stadium and get a win. Simple.
Brighton, Fabian has done a good job with Brighton, coming into games like this, getting results the way he did, fighting against every team that he has done. You should know he's going to come into the Man City game with all the fires, all the everything in his capacity to get a point from this one or perhaps get a win. He's not going to play. If you look at it, even when he was losing against Liverpool, he didn't sit back to defend. When he was losing against, I think it was against Chelsea, he didn't sit back to defend. He was all attacking and playing the attacking football and pressing and trying to get the goal. Now, against Man City, don't expect him to sit back and defend. Now, if the Man City defense is not available, because 3 games in a row, they've not been available, they've not all been available. If the Man City defense is not all available again in this game, expect them to concede goals. And when they concede goals, it's going to be a problem squared against the Brighton side that is all pacey and all gingered up and all fired up to get results.
What's wrong with Haaland? Haaland has been missing a whole lot of goals. Even the Champions League, he missed the penalty. He hit the crossbar with that penalty. What is wrong with him? Do you think that it's middle-age crisis that's worrying him?
Mortals miss penalties. Immortals also miss penalties. So back off Haaland. I think Haaland will be fine once KDB is back in.
You agree at last. Thank you for setting that question up. You agree at last. Haaland will be fine once KDB arrives. That was your quote.
Yeah.
When I said is that whenever KDB is not available, Haaland know they see him, period.
But Haaland has been scoring without
how many
KDB.
going now scoring in the last 7 games?
Without
in
KDB.
the last 7 games, how many goals has he scored? He
been
scored perhaps
scoring.
3 goals.
Go look at the
I'm not looking at the record. He scored about 3
look
goals.
at the tally this season
when KDB was
without
around.
KDB,
Without
and he's
KDB,
been
he
scoring.
never scored.
He's
But he's
been
been scoring
scoring.
that's right this season.
Wait now, he
Go
scored.
look
Wait.
at the stats. Don't just sit here.
It's not about
and call
scoring.
Haaland out. Go look at the stats.
See, John, it's not look at the stat. Look at the stat. Compare the numbers. Last season, KDB was fit all season. How many goals does Haaland have?
Over 30.
Over 30.
Yes.
This not over 30. In all competition, he had about 50 goals.
Yes.
Now, this season, minus his injury, minus the time he
with
went on
Rodri
injury.
and
Wait now.
KDB.
I'm talking about last season, minus the time he went on injury. Because if not for his injuries last season, Kylian and what's it called?
Would not have overtaken him. I understand where you're going to. Yeah.
Now, thank you. Now, this season, Haaland started firing. KDB was available, firing, hat trick, 4 goals, hat trick. He scored 17 goals. Let's say before KDB went on injury, he scored. Before he started counting, before KDB went on injury, he had about 10 goals, and that was about
this season.
Yes.
No, KDB had not really played this season.
Before he went on injury, he was playing some games. He had about 10 goals plus. But since KDB went on injury, he has played about 7 games. He has played about 8 games, and he has only scored 7 goals. This is Haaland that scores 15 goals in 8 games.
I don't think it's about
KDB, you can't begrudge the man that he scored just 7. Name me how many players in the Premier League are sitting on 7.
When you compare,
name me how many in the Premier League are sitting on 7, and we have a conversation.
See, I said in all competition, not 7. When you have,
forget about it.
John, it's not.
Actually, he has scored 11 this Premier League season.
What
He
are
has
we not
scored 11
saying?
Premier League goals.
1 goal.
In all competition, he has 17.
Which is actually big for a striker.
For a
you.
striker, he has 17. Unlike last season, by this time, in how many games? In 14 games, he has how many games now? In 14 games, he has 17 goals. That's
with
great.
Rodri and KDB.
Both
In-
of them.
Yay or nay?
See, in 17 games.
Yay or nay with
Chill.
Rodri
John,
and KDB? Yes
John,
or
don't
no?
don't paint it.
No, no,
Haaland
you
is
can't
good.
have it. You can't eat your cake and have it now.
I'm
You
telling
just
you,
have to go to
without this guy's numbers drop. And you
with
said it's a lie.
Rodri
His
and
numbers has
KDB,
dropped.
he had more records. Everybody knows that.
But you
Without
disputed the
Rodri
fact.
and
KDB. When I stated it up here on
Okay,
this show,
okay.
you said it's a lie that without them.
that doesn't, go through go block. If they call it writers block, name me one striker right now in the in across Europe, 7 leagues in Europe right
That's
now.
still crazy. Their chance and
That did not
cannot
go
actually-
through
No.
goal block or
No,
goal drought.
you-
Just name me one.
If you are going through goal drought, everybody goes through goal drought. But when they say without these players,
So
these
why
players,
are we on Haaland
No, I'm
back
not-
simply
see,
because
if
he's on
last
7
season
goals
he had
without
an-
Rodri
last
and
season-
KDB?
last season he had an off season, and we all agreed he had an off season. He had injuries to couple with the off season.
Yes.
We all agreed we gave them a slack. But when we said this season, KDB has not been available, and he's also having an off season.
Same with
So now,
Rodri too.
people say he's not really dependent on. He's dependent on. Harry Kane went to the new stadium.
Name me one striker.
new stadium-
Name
in
me
the new
one
stadium, Harry
striker,
Kane-
even in Europe now, that does not have supply from his midfielders. Just name me one.
Harry does supply his other midfielders to score
Let's
goals.
leave Haaland.
Bro,
Let's leave
come on.
Haaland. But if you look at
You
that
said
first,
name me
Yeah,
one. I
not
gave
being
you a
petty,
name.
it's fine.
whether
But
you
it's
like
fine,
it or
though.
not, Haaland is still a top striker. Whether he's
I'm
He's
not-
a
see,
beast.
no doubt
Simple.
about that.
What I'm
No
trying
doubt.
to say, what I'm
No
trying
doubt
to
about
say-
that. I'm not disputing the fact
What
that
I'm
he's
trying
a
to
top
say, he has scored
striker.
11 goals in the Premier League, and this is his 11th game. That is, he's averaging 1 goal per game. Which
What
if he
are we not
continues
saying?
that way, he will
Minus
finish-
minus the five,
He will still
minus the 3 hat tricks
eclipse
he
the
scored in the beginning of
38
the
goals
season.
he scored
Eh,
during the season.
Wait, Godwin,
It doesn't
look
matter.
at now.
If he
See,
scores 20 in one game and
Uh-huh.
don't score the next 20 games, it's still
Uh-huh.
1 goal per
but
game.
when he
He's still
scored
one
those
goal
hat
per
tricks,
game, yes.
these players were available. You get it? When he scored those hat tricks,
Without
John,
KDB,
wait,
the question is, without KDB and Rodri, has he been scoring? Yes or
he
no?
scores 1 goal in 3 games.
Baba, how many other strikers in Europe have a better record than that?
I'm not comparing him with other strikers. I'm comparing him with him.
You are comparing
I'm
him with
comparing
him.
Haaland with Haaland.
Thank you.
And
And
when
at
we say-
least
when
now
Haaland-
you know that he's an outlier, so there's nobody in his class.
I can't.
Come off his
I can't.
back.
You say
Simple.
they are. If you want me
There's
to compare,
nobody in
if
his
you want
class.
him to, if you want me
Come
to
off his
compare,
case.
if you want to
Simple
compare
and
him,
short.
if you want to compare with the rest of other strikers across Europe, there's a player across the pond in Portugal.
On creating his chances and finishing them, all his chances.
Man, look at
If
his
no,
man,
if
man,
no, if
man,
no,
man,
man,
look at his build-up
if
play.
no in
Look at his
any,
build- see,
forget about his build-up play.
Look at his build-up
If
play.
no
man.
in any of the scenarios, then you are just being, I don't know, you are
See,
just
John,
being nothing short of diabolical this morning.
Look at his
Hopping
build-up play.
on a
We-
superstar's back.
every striker has his flaws. We know. Every striker has his season.
This
we know.
is
Every
not
striker has
a
his
flaw.
specs. We know. We're
This
just telling
is
you.
something
we're
that
just
is
telling you.
pertinent to every other striker in Europe. Simple QED.
It's not key. See, John, when you said this, Kevin De Bruyne is back. At least Haaland will go back to scoring goals. You admit the fact that without him, the goal ratio is not up. It's not up to par. It's not up there. That is just the. See,
Tell me
all
tell me
these
one
debates-
striker whose goal ratio is up to par without a
a
credible partnership.
particular
Yes,
supply.
tell me one striker.
I'll go
who's-
all the way.
Tell me one. Who?
Karim
Karim who?
Benzema.
Baba, he dey
His
wine.
numbers are up to par. He was the one
He
even
dey
supplying
wine,
other
he dey
people to
wine,
score
Baba,
goals.
he dey wine.
He was the one supplying other people to score goals. Thierry Henry, he was supplying other people to score goals, and he was also getting on the score sheet. He
Are
was,
they still
Wait,
playing
mind you-
right now
mind
in the
you said-
pinnacle
you
of
said I
Europe?
should
Yes
give
or
you
no?
names of
Are
players.
they still scoring right this minute in the pinnacle of European football? If the
Victor.
answer is no, then shove it.
Victor,
Shove it.
the Premier League player of the season, or perhaps the playmaker of the season last year, was a striker.
Do you know the
Oli
funniest-
Watkins.
The only funniest part about this argument, the brand has only 1 assist this season.
See,
What are we
not
not saying?
not
What
the as-
out- you know, it's outrageous to me how somebody can just sit in his dejected corner, watch a stellar performer and watch a stellar athlete, and then from the depravity of his backward mindset come in here and come and say that and because of one score in 1,000 spot of millions of goals, that this person is not a stellar performer. That's outrageous coming from you. Now,
Okay,
so no doubt.
let's see what happens in that game. But if you look at Pep has been trying to fire up, but let's see if he's going to get up his game and win that game against Brighton. The Brighton coach is very good too. He is trying to build up his team to make sure that he wins the Premier League or finish very top of the Premier League, at least to play continental football next season. But let's see what both of them will be doing this season. Okay, let's move on to another game that is happening today. The biggest one for today is Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Slot has been doing well. He's sitting pretty top at the top of the Premier League. That means he's doing something right with this Liverpool. Remember, he didn't really buy players. He just used the players that he saw he met in that club, and he has been firing. They have lost only one game in this Premier League against Nottingham Forest. But remember, we still have Pep that is chasing everybody down. He's trying to do 5 in a row. But Liverpool is standing tall in this Premier League and trying to win this Premier League in first time of asking for slots.
Yeah, you have to give it to Ancelotti, the way he's coming to the league, the way he's marshaled his team, the way he's coordinated. Now, while giving him his credit, you cannot take away the fact that this man inherited a functioning vehicle that was primed and played in the top 3 in the Premier League last season. You can give somebody his plaudits without detracting the man who left the job for him to do that job. And he's building based off the foundation. It's the same blueprint, just a little tweaks here and there, and you have to give him his kudos. But then you do not just come in and just try to make him out to be like what would they call him now, a one-off wonder or a one-hit wonder right now, because Liverpool are doing fine. Yes, they have like, for me, one of the potential detraction for Liverpool this season is how they are going to manage that squad when the injuries start coming and when form starts dropping, because there are a couple of positions in that side that are not well covered. Yes, they're a good team. Yes, they had a phenomenal start, but this is a marathon, and we are just done with the first lap of the marathon. We finished the first 10 games of this season. We are heading into the next 10 games, and then we have another break coming up in January. So let's see how they go, in the long run. But against sides like Aston Villa, you should expect Liverpool to be winning comfortably.
They are playing at Anfield, but Emery has been doing well, even though he has lost these last 2-3 games. He has not really done well with this Aston Villa team. But if you look at generally, he has actually did well. He's doing well with this Aston Villa team. He's playing the Champions League. He's playing the Premier League, and he's fighting for that top 4. When you test this European football, you don't want to go back. Even in our Conference League qualify, but you just want to keep playing in Europe.
West Ham win Conference League, we never hear the last of them. How do you want,
No, so if you look at Emery, but what do you think that Emery should be doing in this game to win Liverpool? Because if you look at the way they play, they play balanced football. Liverpool is trying to play balanced football, but Emery is cooking. He's trying to cook, not he's cooking. He was cooking. Now
he's trying to cook. Well, it's fine. All the credit goes to what's it called, Anne. And Slot has done well. When we gave him credits, we said, everybody said back off him. When we gave him criticism before he came into the job, people were like, he's going to fail, he's going to be this, he's going to be that. And when I started giving him credit at game week 3, everybody said back off him. And when I was still giving him credit after the Nottingham lose, everybody said his losing streak will continue after that. But man has surprised us. The winning streak continues. But for what's it called now? Unai Emery, his record against Tottenham Hotspur last weekend wasn't good enough.
Yes,
the style of play wasn't just up there. The performance of the teams, the performance of the players he fielded was not up to par, and they lost that game against Tottenham. I was expecting them to get that win. And after that, he lost against Tottenham Hotspur and came into Europe in the midweek and lost again. And that was the game we said, like, okay, fine, he's going to Belgium. No Belgium side have actually done wonders against the Premier League side. Now he sets the precedent, and Trail Mings in that team set another record for the first English player to concede a penalty in the Champions League. It's never happened before. Now, they said it's the first time for everything. Now, him being the first English player to concede a penalty, and that was the end of it. They didn't go forward to create enough chances. John Duran came, nothing was working. In the attack, nothing was working. These people set deep and continued to hit on the break to get the result they did, and continue to. I think it wasn't just sitting deep, it was choking up the midfield, making sure that the midfielders doesn't have enough vision to send passes forward. And I felt like that was where he lost it. If games like this continue like this and the pace continues like this, how would you rally your players around to change the tweak of the game, to change the tactics, to involve a little tactical flexibility to get the team into winning positions. It happened against Tottenham Hotspur. You didn't get the result. You didn't tweak the setup in the second half to get the result. It happened against Genk again in the Champions League. You didn't tweak the result to change the tactics and get the win. So if you're playing against Liverpool, how will you change it when you go to goals down?
For me, you can't give Unai Emery too many knocks, because if you look at the Tottenham team pari passu with Aston Villa team, you can see that there are better reinforcements in that side, better quality players, and more depth in positions. Tottenham Hotspur have a Heung-min Son, who is a phenomenal striker, a fox in the box, a winger who can mix and match it with any other winger in Europe right now. And to add that, they added Solanke, they added Brennan Johnson, they have they added a lot of players into that side, into the attack. Go over, look across the pond at Aston Villa. It's just Watkins and John Duran.
It's not just, they have other players.
It's just Watkins and John Duran. As far as I'm concerned, every other striker in that team is binary. It's Watkins and John Duran. Those are the guys that are coming big for Aston Villa when they need the results. So for me, I feel he is not yet with he doesn't have a Liverpool team right now. He doesn't have a Tottenham team right now. So of course, he's going to drop the ball here and there. But he should be able to get a result against Liverpool.
First of all, let's get your prediction for the Man City game. You know, we didn't talk about the prediction for the Man City game.
That.
Okay, what Man City game? The Brighton versus Man City. What do you expect? What are your predictions for that game?
Win
for City.
City win, yes.
As a City estimate them.
I said a win.
You just said a
City win.
So
2-1 Brighton.
2-1 Brighton. Okay, for Liverpool and Aston Villa, who wins?
Liverpool.
Liverpool
I
with
stick
John.
with Liverpool and slot all the way.
Draw.
It's a draw for you. Okay, let's move on to tomorrow's game, and the big one tomorrow is Manchester United versus Leicester City. This is the final game for Van Nistelrooy before Ruben Amorim comes in after this game. He's going to be coming in on the 11th. That means 2 days from now. He's going to be coming in as Manchester United coach. But that game, Van Nistelrooy is going to take on he's going to take on this match. He beat Leicester City in the Carabao Cup 5-0. Now he's played 5-2. Now he's going to be taking them on the Premier League. Premier League sometimes is different from the Carabao Cup. But do you think that Manchester United again can trash Leicester City in this game?
We shall see.
Well, we hope so. You know, when you say you're buying out with your head held high. You're buying out with all the positivity and everything. So when the new manager comes in, he comes into a team or a setup of group with a positive mindset. You get, after winning 2 games, after winning 3, I think it's 2 games in 3 now. You've won 2 out of 3 games, and this is your 4th game. And if you win it, the new manager comes in the next day and he sees that the camp is happy. He tries to correct 1 or 2 things from the last game, and that's it. Then from there he continues to build, because now he's coming into a team that is already winning games. He builds on that team that is winning games, and he goes on to play a good football from there. But I'm believing this one is going to be a win for what's called Van Nistelrooy. So when he leaves the position, he can offer a quality advice, because he's not the only legend in the side. Now there's a Darren Fletcher who's also there on technical abilities.
Come on.
He's not the head coach. I'm not saying head coach, but among backroom staffs, you know, when they say backroom staff, it's not just head coach, assistant, and this one.
My only problem with that statement is that Darren Fletcher is not a Manchester United legend. QED. Go on.
Okay, let's leave legend, but that game, Manchester United is trying to build up. They are not really doing well in this league. They are trying to build up. If they win this game, they move up. And we keep talking about Amorim coming in. If he's going to change their formation or stick with the back four. So we are going to see what Van Nistelrooy is going to be doing before Amorim comes in. This is his final game for Manchester United before Amorim enters this Premier League. You know, Premier League and Sporting Lisbon is not the same thing. So
he said it. Amorim said it. He said he cannot just teleport all his players or the mindset of the team at Sporting down to Manchester United. That he's going to have to build. He said it himself. He's going to have to build. He's going to have to work on the confidence of the players. He's going to have to work on the physicality of the players. He's going to have to work on the injury crisis of the players. So he's going to work with data analysis to make sure the players don't go on injury on a regular. Okay,
indeed, he's going to be playing tomorrow. Let's see. Before that, everybody, after that match, he's going to be joining the Super Eagles for their game, for the international game. Okay, let's get your prediction for that game. Manchester United and Leicester City.
ended with another assist. I think he's one of the top assists. He has one of the top assists. He's one of the people with the top assists in the Premier League so far. 4 assists so far this season. And as a result of playing up a bit, when the coach came in and said, Cooper came in and said, okay, see, we want you to play this way, we want you to play this way. So he doesn't sit deep like the defensive midfielder he is anymore. He's giving that freedom to roam and at least explore his attacking options. So I'm thinking he'll get an assist again, but it's still Man United to win.
John?
There's a saying that goes, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you. So I don't think Leicester City will want Manchester United to win them back to back. So it's going to be a tough game, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Nottingham Forest has been doing very well this season. If you look, they stay fourth in the Premier League, which is surprising for everybody. Yes. They have been doing well, very, very, very well this season, and they are going to play the Newcastle side that won Arsenal last weekend. So it's going to be a tough game, but they are playing at home. Let's get your prediction for that game.
One thing we cannot forget is that they are the oldest club in the English Premier League right now in England in history. They are a club that their history is steeped in football. They've been there, they've done it, they've been around Europe, they won it in Europe, and they are a good side. I'm happy to see Nottingham Forest finally, after a couple of decades in the shadows and in the lower divisions, playing in Premier League and doing well in the league table. So hopefully they go in there and they get a win against Newcastle.
Because they are sitting third on the table. What's your pressure for that game?
They go beat Newcastle. They go beat Newcastle. See, this is what when I say win, it's going to be a blowout against Newcastle, 2-0. Just call it the way it is. It's going to be 2-0 win for Nottingham Forest. I hope it's 2-0 that blowout.
Okay, let's see what happens. That Nottingham Forest are sitting third on the log, so that means they are doing very, very well. A win today will move them almost behind Manchester City if they lose today. So imagine that they are actually doing well. We might call them the dark horse of this Premier League, but let's see what happens. Okay, let's get your prediction for the Spurs game. Spurs versus Ipswich. What do you think will happen in that game?
Blowout. Spurs blowout.
Spurs to win.
Ipswich will, my own is Ipswich will score goal. They know how to score goals. They should be scoring goals. Until they learn to defend the goals they score.
Spurs blowout.
Okay, let's move on to the biggest game of the weekend. Is Chelsea versus Arsenal. But if you look at that game, Arsenal have not done well throughout this season. The expectation for the past 2 seasons, I think, is the expectation that is too much. They created a whole lot of vibes around the club that they are title contenders now and they are here to stay. I think that it's weighing on them. A couple of the injuries they had, because if you look at the past 2 seasons, they had minimal injuries compared to other big clubs. But now I think it's their turn. But even though Odegaard is back, Odegaard might be starting. Saka is fully fit now. But a couple of teams or a couple of players have not been available, like Alefroli. But Chelsea are strong. They won their Europa League against Noah. So they are coming back from a huge
You just
win.
had to go there.
Yes, I had to go there. They just coming back from a huge win. But if you look at that game, last weekend they played Manchester United and they drew that game at Old Trafford. Now they are playing at home at Stamford Bridge and they are hosting Arsenal. What do you think will happen? Do you think that who do you think come on top? Maresca versus Arteta?
I'm going to come to that, but let me start with the fact that you said that the expectation was too high, the hype was too high, and now that things are not measuring up, it's like Arsenal fans are coming up a cliffhanger. I think Arsenal fans are being set up for another cliffhanger this season, which is the fact that you could finish in the top 3 rather than top 2 this season, and it's going to be squarely on the shoulders of that black-headed black-haired manager in Arsenal side right now, and his pig-headedness in not doing the necessary. How do you prepare a palatable dish? You go around, you pick all the right ingredients except one, you do all the things you need to do, you go back, you do your cross-checking and dot your T's, do everything, and then you forget salt.
To put salt.
That's where Arsenal's problem is coming off, because the players, the wingers in that side have been carrying the load for that team now for 2 seasons back to back to back. And this season, at the slightest point of them maybe losing form, maybe experiencing burnout, because you've been chasing a goal for 2 years and you've always fallen short. There's psychological thing that comes with it. So, you just need an Osimhen in that line up that will be Baba anywhere they give me the ball. How how did you feel seeing him score that goal? You know, in the Champions League, was he Champions League now or Europa? Against Spurs. How do you feel seeing him finishing? Look at all the crosses Arsenal have been loading, reloading, bombarding to the beast, in the new beast in
But the thing is, the crosses were not coming to the new beast.
you
Because
know,
it was always far off
imagine
the
if he
box
was
exit.
coming
No,
to
so-
a playoff Osimhen's
But what do you make of
pedigree.
Maresca? What do you make of Maresca?
I said it before. I said it before, and they almost called to crucify me. And I'll say it again. Against people that, let's remove Man United from the number now. Because let's say Man United really do well. Let's take away the fact that Man United, and people said Man United are back on top. Man United are not back on top.
They are not.
They are not back
I
on
agree
top.
with you.
So,
Yes.
Let's remove that Man United game. Against everybody that finished in the top 6 last season, that Chelsea has played against, how many points have they gotten off them? Newcastle, Tottenham Hotspur, they've not played Tottenham Hotspur yet. Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal. Now this is, let's say they played Man City, they lost. They played Liverpool, they've lost. Now they're playing against another team that finished in the top 4 last season, in person of Arsenal. Will they go back there and give them the whole 3 points they've struggled for? Because this is the same Chelsea. This is the same Chelsea that went. It's just like Arsenal that were topping the table. I went to give their 3 points to Aston Villa and ended up dashing the league to Man City last season. The season before then, they were taking points from Man City and they'll go and give it to Shea with Southampton 1 point. Now, will they continue to collect points from everybody and continue to dash out? Because we don't know what will happen if they play against Bournemouth now, because Bournemouth is on fire now. We don't know what will happen. We don't know what will happen if they play against Nottingham Forest in the second leg.
True that.
Now,
True that.
if they continue to play like this, I'm just going to say this is, don't crucify me. If you continue to dash out your points to the big 6 from last season, how are you sure you will get into the top 4 conversation by the end of the season?
For me,
Because you still know that there are some other teams like the Bournemouth, the Wolverhampton Wanderers that just want to play draw, the Crystal Palace that just want to come to their home and win. You get the Ipswich Town that will score against you and defend.
yeah,
No,
lock up shot.
and lock up shot.
Normally.
The Southampton that is trying to gain form.
Yes.
The Everton that is okay, we've played in Europe before. Let us see if we can get there again. The Nottingham Forest that is also trying to finish in Europe in the European competition.
I think when we talk about Chelsea, there are 2 factors that we are not looking at, and these 2 factors, I think it's going to be incumbent on these 2 factors that we see a Chelsea side fall aside this season or not live up to their purported destiny this season. Chelsea fans are rallying around everywhere in the nooks and crannies of the country, talking about finishing in the top 4, talking about winning the title as at the starting of this season.
Definitely.
And I'm hoping that some dawn of reality is coming down on every single one
No,
of
it
them.
shouldn't come down.
It should be coming on them. Otherwise,
because America will still continue to
they
go.
are setting themselves up for a cliffhanger. They are for a decline.
Maresca is still cooking.
One, you cannot talk about Chelsea giving away points without addressing the fact that they have a leaking back four, that they do not have credible fullbacks in that side that can do the job for them. That's one. Everything rises and falls on defense. If that defense is leaky, they are going to have that. Then two, you have a club like Chelsea. Go and look at all the other top 3 clubs. You know who is starting for you week in, week out. You know who's playing. And you have a club like Chelsea. Today they feel Team A, Band A customers. Tomorrow they feel Band B customers. And there's no connectivity in the side.
I think in the Premier
It counts in the performances.
I think in the Premier League, we know the people that start in the Premier League. The people that start in the Premier League, we know them. You get. But what I'm saying now, I'm not going to fault the fullbacks. Reece James is doing wonderful. I don't know why he had to put Cucurella on the bench and play Gusto on the left.
For
back.
me, it's crazy.
Now we know you want to ship out what's it called, Chilwell, Ben Chilwell. Cucurella should be starting his game in left back, in left fullback position. Reece James or perhaps Gusto should start. We know that any of the 2 of them would fit the team. But in centre half, you have Tosi and maybe Badashile. That's the centre half defensive playing that could do well. Or perhaps Tosi and what's it called? This Fofana, Wesley Fofana.
Yes.
Now these 2 defenders are top notch. If it's Scoville and Fofana, good enough. But not this Disaster and Badashile. that combination is just off for me.
Okay, let's get your prediction for that game. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports and we have some comments. Josh, welcome to the show. Paul Rogers, I can see you. Welcome to the show. Josh is saying, John, I hope you are happy with Osimhen. He has proven himself too. So I think he has proven himself. He is doing
no
well.
doubt.
Let's see what he's going to be doing
happy for him.
when he's going to, after the season, one loan season finishes with Gala. Let's see what he's doing Paul Rogers, I can see you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Vote Sports, and I can see your comments here. He said it's all about Liverpool, and he's saying to Rogers is saying, Paul Rogers is saying Chelsea are winning nothing. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get your prediction for that game before we start taking calls.
I'm going to go Arsenal win or draw because I believe that we could see some blunders today that will give them the edge. But I am super scared of, when Chelsea strikers pick form.
Odegaard is back. Saka will be on top form. Martinelli will start.
So
this is the combination that will win the game.
They are going to win the game.
Arsenal.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Name and location.
Good morning.
Okay, Bishop, what do you think about this weekend Premier League?
Okay. 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 So let's agree to disagree. Okay. Okay. Okay.
True that.
You can't win the league. You can't be top if you're happy losing to your opponent like that. No, there's no way. They are not that good. They are thinking they are good. They can't beat Man U. We can't keep beating Man U. I said them to beat Man U. It's not. Man U that has no coach. They disagree. That is a coach, and you know this is daily match. It's daily match they are, and you can't beat them. Man U could have beaten them in that game if they are picking up their chances. Understand? So they are not that good. They are thinking. They will have to do that. They can't beat that one. It's not possible. I can't beating Man U, but you cannot beat Man U. Ordinary Man U now.
Chai.
Now, I think that they are good. They are not going anywhere. They'll be happy to lose to them. No, they will not be worried. The way they call you and say they are happy that you lost to Liverpool, they will also until they are happy to losing to Arsenal. Arsenal will teach them how to play the game tomorrow. Then, on Haaland, I don't think it's fair to say that Haaland is a striker that doesn't know how to score. It's unfair.
Thank you.
You can force Haaland in a period that was not being goal scoring. Come on, the guy is a goal machine. Whether KDB or not, at the following him, at that ball, there was no KDB. You know the amount of goals he scored?
Okay.
There was no KDB in Dortmund.
There was a Jude.
His national team, there's no KDB. What am I trying to say? That is a goal scorer anywhere. What he needs, get the ball to him. Even if it's me that pass the ball to Haaland, he will score. He will do that his business. When he brings KDB to his leg, then you are talking about who is getting the ball more to his leg. It's a different thing. Can he score or can he get the ball? I think what is lacking now is that he's not getting the ball mostly.
Yes.
All right.
He's not getting the ball, but it's not about that whether he can score. He can. Let's look at what he has put on back. He's getting the ball, but people is finding difficult to put the ball at the back of the net.
Thank you.
I follow him also. He plays sometimes he is not really. You know that he's not getting the ball. His case is different from that of Mbappe. Give him the ball, I find he will score 4. You get me? So he is a good scorer, no argument on that.
All right, thank you, Bishop.
What him is that he's not good on the ball.
Okay.
Like, he's not like Benzema, Rooney, and what things like to say. These are strikers who are good with the ball. They can create, they can get the ball on themselves and even score sometimes. Haaland cannot do too much with the ball and even off the ball. But that's when he goes scoring. Come on, he has no match, bro.
All right, thank you, Bishop.
He don't get
Valid
meat.
points,
He
Oran, Baba.
don't-
Valid points.
Last,
Valid points.
Last, he don't get meat.
He no get mates.
Meat don't plenty for market. He don't get meat
He
plenty.
no get mates.
Hello,
Straight
hello,
up.
good morning. Good morning.
Good
Name and
morning.
location,
Good morning.
please. Okay, what is your plan? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So you are predicting Chelsea will win that tomorrow's game. Yes. Yes. Same thing. So
They can't win Leicester like that.
okay, okay.
So for Chelsea, I think
Chelsea. Okay.
that fella, let me use the money we use.
Calm down.
That's what he said.
All right. Thank you very much.
Now that Newcastle will lose. Now out of it, Newcastle beats them for Carabao Cup. So they invest for Newcastle. They don't go support Newcastle this weekend. I agree with you.
0706 048 5853. Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and location, please.
Normally.
Just tell us what you think about the Arsenal and Chelsea and Arsenal game.
It's tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Everybody's having their opinion, especially in that Arsenal game, Arsenal and Chelsea game. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be a London derby tomorrow. Let's see. Arsenal actually beat Chelsea home and away, and a particular one, I think at the email they tried them 4-0, and I think part of the reason they sacked Pochettino. But let's see what happens. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and location, please. Okay, Chukudi, what do you think about today's game and tomorrow's game, especially Chelsea's game?
Go ahead.
Mm. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot hear you very well. Can you? I can't hear you very well. Can you just call back? I can't hear you very well.
Chukwu, please do call us back.
Call
We
us
can't
back
hear
and-
you very well.
Just call us back. I can't hear you very well. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yes,
Name
good
and
morning.
location, please. Okay, Pedro, what is your contribution? Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm. Okay.
So
2-1.
the highest result Arsenal will get.
It's a
Let
draw.
me
It's
get
a
you
draw.
well.
After
Arsenal-
winning home and away last
Wait, the
season.
highest result Arsenal will
Pedro.
get is a draw. I mean, the highest result Chelsea will get is a draw. Okay. I just wanted to be sure. So in case they get the 3 points, we will come back on Monday and talk about it like happy people do.
Maximum.
Ah,
Okay.
ah.
Without-
Liverpool win. Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, nice prediction from Pedro. Okay, let's see if your prediction will work today. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Good morning, also, and John.
Good
Yeah,
morning,
good morning.
engineer.
John, let me come to you first.
Oh yeah, nah.
I know that you are a die-out of Man City.
Mhm.
I know that one very well. No doubting about it. But let me tell you something. Whatever we Man City is cooking, prepare. This season is not for them. That's one. Alan is a standard striker. They agree. Anybody know about football, you can't take Alan away. That is not a good striker. Alan can score any day, anytime. The only thing that is not a person supplying that ball as at now. I know
Yes.
that on January, that's them with the people, but not for this season. That's one. Two, Chelsea Arsenal tomorrow. Whatever they like, let them prepare in that Suffolk Bridge. Annoyance.
Now you are coming.
Nothing like shaking about
2-0, bam.
like a small boy in that
QED.
That's the corners for life.
All right, corners for
Wait,
life.
he said Arsenal is going there with annoyance. 2-0, bam.
Okay,
Like-
remember guys, we are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports, and Paul Rogers, I can see you said Manchester City has got a tough away game at Brighton. Exactly, I think that game is going to be tough for Pep, but Pep might find a way. He always find a way to do something. I don't think he has lost back-to-back games, like 4 games in a row in his career. You will die today. Anything you want to do, you will die to get that, even if it's 1 point. Okay, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you now. Okay, continue.
Okay. It's good enough.
Hello? Hello, I can't hear you very
I
well.
think your network is bad, Pedro.
Not Pedro. I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well, so we have to move on.
Chukwudi, sorry, your
Chukwudi,
network
please,
is
I can't
bad.
hear you very well. Please, can you call us with another number, or probably on Monday? Just call us. I'll be taking your calls there. Okay, let's move over to the La Liga, because La Liga is happening this week. La Liga, let's get your prediction, just for predictions for the games. Let's talk about the 2 big guys, or 3 big guys in the La Liga. Real Madrid is playing Osasuna today, 2 p.m. What is your prediction for that game?
They should be winning.
It should be-
Inform Osasuna.
They should be winning.
Inform Osasuna. That's what the headline has.
They
So
should be winning.
I think it's
see, Real Madrid are at a point in, I'm at a point in my life right now where you need to win.
They
and
need to
they
win.
need a win more than anything. So they need to go get it.
Not so?
I'm just going to hedge my bet on this one. They can't go to Osasuna and they can't get a result against Osasuna.
Let's see.
Right now, Osasuna on top form. Look at the way they've played, look at the way they've defended, look at the goals they've scored. They're on form.
Okay. Probably I'll start might get something out of the game. Okay, let's talk about Mallorca and Atletico Madrid. What's your prediction for that game?
Madrid win.
Atletico Madrid to win.
You're just predicting on Madrid teams win. I think they would win this
They will
one.
win this one. Okay,
They
on
should win it.
Sunday is Real Sociedad and Barcelona. Barcelona, high flying team in the Europe. So, what is your prediction for that game?
When you fight with all your strength, fight with all your power, but you still lose 5-0. That kind of game.
Barca to win also.
Real Sociedad would, at least at some point, some people are planning to shut Barca down. So Real Sociedad is that
Okay.
team I am backing to do that right now.
Okay.
Not really get the win, but get a draw.
Okay, in the MPFL, the Nigerian MPFL is happening today and tomorrow. I'll give you the fixtures. Lobby Stars is playing Abia Warriors, Bendel Insurance versus Kano Pillars, Heartland of Owerri versus Sunshine Stars, Enyimba International versus Remo Stars, big one.
Yes, big
Katsina
one
United
there.
versus Ikorodu City, Niger Tornadoes versus Aqua United, Rivers United versus Bayelsa United, Plateau United versus Rangers International, National United versus Kwara United, and Shooting Stars versus El Kanemi Warriors. Let's get your prediction for Enyimba and Remo Stars, because these are 2 big games, big
Tough
games.
one.
For the
Tough
past
one, no
3
doubt.
years, these are the teams that have finished in the top 4.
Yes.
They've always been in that top 3 conversation. So I think it's going to be tough this time around. But Eyimba are also on fire right now. So I think they will be getting a win in this one.
John?
I'm backing Remo, man.
Yeah,
No
backing
two
Remo.
ways
Backing
about
Remo.
it. Remo.
Remo. Okay, let's talk about Plateau United and Rangers International. Rangers are going away. They are trying to pick form. They have been winning games, drawing games. They have been doing well. If you look at the past couple of
After
games.
losing
But
2 straight games, you should do well. So I
Yes.
think in the last game they won, were 2 goals. And this game, they are going to Plateau. We're just expecting nothing less than a win as well. 2 goals as well. Either from Kazim, Savior, anybody. We're just expecting them to score goals. Even if Abaji is scoring goals, let's just if he gets a hat trick in this one, then I'll be proud of him.
For me, performance level should not drop. The key metrics in the game should not drop. Go out there, play your game, and leave it on the pitch.
why I like the MPFL this season is that everybody is winning. You can go away and get all 3 points comfortably. You see a whole lot of games. Even we have just played a couple of games into the season, and we have had a whole lot of away games. It's not this like 5 years ago. You are sure if you go, you are just looking for a point, because probably 1 minute to go, they will give the home team a penalty, or whether they equalize or win the game. But this season has been different. We are improving. Let's hope that Nigerian MPFL will keep improving, because we need to move to international stage, because
Yes,
Nigeria is
true
the
that.
highest export of footballers in the whole world. You cannot believe where Nigerians are playing football. We are everywhere. We play football everywhere. So if we develop our own league, I think it will do us more favor. Okay, tomorrow is football weekend. Let's go out and enjoy our football weekend. Have a wonderful football weekend. My name is Godwin. I'll be seeing you on Monday to discuss all the results that happened throughout the weekend. Have a lovely day.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome to Vote 104.3 FM, where music